everyone. Welcome back to Spiral Society. Tonight we are talking about Jennifer Soto, mother of murdered 13-year-old girl Madeline Soto. Right off the bat, jumping right in, I'm going to ask everyone, do you think that Jennifer Soto was involved in Madeline's death?
Yes, I personally do.
Yes.
I don't know if she did it herself physically, but judging by all the facts that we have right now, everybody knows that like she was sexually assaulted for years. To my understanding, I'm not a parent, don't come for me, but to my understanding, there's no way you can live in a household when your child is being sexually assaulted for years without knowing it. I see it as crazy and I do not believe it.
I second that. Every single thing you just said, it makes no sense that you're not going to notice. As a mother, I can tell you that your child always shows signs and there's tells, and the way that he possibly looked at her all the time, and you're not going to know, you're not going to hear anything. It's not, besides the toxicity of Hispanic women, that she never checked his phone to see all of the material that he had on that phone. She never went on that phone.
Madeline Soto from down in Central Florida. There she is. She went missing on the 26th, just 13 years old. Her mother's boyfriend or husband, it's not super clear at this moment, is the one who was taking her to school on the day that she disappeared. His name is Stephen Stearns. He was arrested last Thursday. There he is. But not arrested for murder. He was arrested because of what investigators found on his cell phone. Now, some of what we're going to put up on the screen is graphic in nature, not images, but just words describing what was on that phone. I'll read part of it for you. On his phone, during the interview with Stephen, he provided consent to search his phone. However, he stated that he accidentally performed a factory reset on his phone on February 26, 2024, which is, of course, the same day that Madeline went missing. Upon reviewing the contents of Stephen's phone, several images and videos were located which depicted, they don't give the name, private parts of someone, very graphic videos of a graphic assault. And then the conclusion of all that is, based on the totality of the circumstances, Eurofine has probable cause to believe Stephen committed a sexual battery.
You cannot convince me. Cannot.
They found material on his phone. One of the very odd things about this case is that they have said that the images and the video that they found on his phone, over 60 of them, I believe it was,
Videos.
the description of the room matches Madeline's room. The description of the home that is shown in these videos matches the home. The description of the clothing matches Madeline's clothing. I don't know why they won't say it's Madeline. Her name has been redacted from everything that the public sees, and they haven't officially charged him with sexual abuse of Madeline. They have just charged him with sexual abuse in general.
Material, yes.
That's one of the
Like
things
possession.
I don't understand about this case, is how they have clear evidence of this and haven't charged him with that specifically. But I digress. I do not understand how he could have all this and Madeline's mother not be aware that this is going on under her roof, in her home, under her nose. Absolutely the fuck not. I want to talk about that one specific interview that she gave on television, because I think really only people need to see that to understand why we think that she's involved in this, without even giving details. They just need to watch that, and I think it's very clear. So we will play that clip and we will discuss.
Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry. That should be it. Sorry about that. We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
What are you thinking right now?
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school. I don't know what to think.
Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling, the way the family's feeling, Madeline?
We are desperate for any answers, anything that you could do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if you see my daughter, just please bring her home. I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. I just hope she's okay.
She knows how to get home by herself, as if, like, let's just say, to take a bus or an Uber or something like that. She would know how to get home alone, correct?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she would know how to get home. Maybe, I mean, if someone, I'm thinking if someone got in the car with her and if she pointed the way, what roads, she probably could figure out how to get, but like, does she know her full address? I don't think she does.
All right, so Stefan, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her. It's a living nightmare. Day started off like any other, and I just want to wake up. You just get hit with waves of the reality, just it's setting in. As soon as it got dark last night, we started falling apart because we knew it wasn't going to come to an end. And now we're going on 24 hours and still nothing. Just conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive and none of it's helpful. We just wanted a baby girl back.
I just find this so pathetic. How can you be consoling this man this way? Why are you not outraged and losing your goddamn mind over your child missing? How can this man that is a stranger to this child, regardless of how fucking many years he was the stepfather, which he does not deserve this title, by the way. Stefan Stern is losing his mind, and she's like rubbing on him and consoling him with his face, like, poor little you. He seems sincere that his little girl that he possibly was, in love with, or whatever the hell goes through his head, was actually gone. And she's just like, oh, why are you not losing your shit?
She was so peaceful. You know, when you have a curve of emotions, people have curves of emotion. You go to rage, you go to craziness, you go to crying, you go to like you have a whole fucking curve. Her shit was just like a flat line. She never showed any emotions. She was just like stating facts. And that was
no facts. She was like reciting.
Well,
and also,
thank you.
I wouldn't say that she was calm. She was like jittery. She's like shaking and doing all of the things. That also comes when you are terrified, not necessarily that your child is missing.
Of getting caught.
Of getting
being
caught,
caught.
exactly.
You fucked up.
I want to note that there's not a single fucking tear, not one. Stefan, who actually did these horrendous things, there's photographic and video evidence of him doing these horrific things to a 13-year-old girl, shows more emotion than the girl's mother. And then you go and give a TV interview and you don't have a fucking tear in your eye. And the part that annoys me the most, what was that noise in the background and why was that bitch laughing at it? What's funny about anything that's happening
right
today?
Here.
How can you have this emotion? How can you laugh when this is happening? I don't get it.
I'm going to say this. I'm not going to judge people's ability to have different ways of grieving, but this is not normal.
Fair.
This is not normal. The sound that you hear apparently is a dog feeder, and it was like a distraction, which maybe by the fucking heavens, it was Madeline sending a signal like she's lying, because this is exactly when she was lying about, dropping her off at school. One of the lies that she told on this interview, right? The point here is, how can you be this calm? And I want to bring up also the fact of the grandmother's interview. The grandmother's interview was the same vibe as the mother.
Girl, like with some money fears, so much so that she no longer sleeps alone. She sleeps with her mom or sleeps with me in my bed at 13 years old. She is not a confident girl. The boyfriend no longer lived there. He came this weekend. Why? I don't know.
Calm and collected. She went to work on a regular day after her granddaughter is missing for a day. She's just calm and collected, but she says things that make me wonder what happened. She said that Madeline was a child with many fears and that she couldn't even sleep alone. She either sleeps with me, says the grandmother, or sleeps with mom. So what do you mean?
Because this child was seeking protection. Like,
yeah, but
just,
why did Stefan live with them for some periods of time? So where did she sleep when Stefan was home?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Did she sleep in the same bed with them? This feels full speculation, and on top of that, you're not realizing what's happening to a child? Because let's remind everybody that this possibly started happening when Madeline was 8 years old. So there are tells for sure. I'm confused.
Even though this case does seem straightforward, it does seem like it's obvious that Stefan did it, it's not that straightforward. I still have so many questions, and we all do. And once again, it goes back to Jen. There's no way she was fully oblivious for 6 years that her child was being sexually assaulted. Even, I don't know, guys, you probably saw the video from the birthday party or one of the videos of Madeline. You can see the sadness in her eyes. I'm not an expert. I don't know children much because I'm not a parent. But just watching that video, it made me sad. I saw the sadness and trauma in the child's
She looks
eyes.
like an abused child. I'm sorry.
Yes.
She really
Every
does.
image I've ever seen of her, she looks like an abused child. She has the darkest circles under her eyes that no 13-year-old has any business having, circles that
Yeah.
dark. She looks withdrawn. She looks sad. She looks
Depleted.
Yeah.
every time I see her, it looks like she's like disassociating. And obviously, you know, if you're going through lots of trauma, you will do that as a defense mechanism, coping mechanism. And that's I look at her and I just see an abused child. I see trauma. I see depression. I see sadness. I see everything that a 13-year-old girl should not be exhibiting. She should be happy. She should be vibrant. She should be smiling. She should have a light in her eyes and be filled with all the wonder and glory that it is being, you know, a carefree, happy 13-year-old.
She didn't
Yeah.
I
even
don't
get a
see any of
chance.
that.
She didn't even get a chance to be 13 one day. Well, she did because her birthday was 2 days before the party. But can we speculate on what we think actually happened? Because there's so many inconsistencies. Number one, the mom says that she's too tired to take her to school. So she calls the boyfriend. Bitch, you're awake already. You're awake already. That's already not making sense to me. She didn't see Madeline the day of the birthday party because she had to work. Okay, weird. 13-year-old having a birthday and you missed it.
A milestone birthday, turning
A
into a
milestone.
teenager.
How? As a parent, can anybody in the comments tell me, if you have kids, have you ever missed their 13-year-old birthday? Like when they turn 13, did you miss that birthday party? Especially when the child turned 13 on Thursday and celebration was scheduled on Sunday, which means you could have picked a different day when you're available. Have any
And-
of you missed that? Please tell us in the comments.
And more than likely, she has a non-essential job. Okay, so she's not like she couldn't call out. Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think she's
fine.
a brain surgeon, if that's what we're.
No,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
an air traffic controller or a pilot. I'm pretty sure it's non-essential. So she could have called out. Fine. She calls the boyfriend, being awake. She tells the police on the first interview that she saw Madeline getting dressed. Lie number one. The police see Stern throwing away the things at 7:35 in the morning in the dumpster. Madeline's
Madeline's
backpack and
belongings.
laptop,
Mhm.
right? So what happened here? Did Stern sleep? He didn't sleep over because she had to call him. But he was seen so early throwing away the things. How do you did something happen in the apartment? Did something happen in the car? School didn't start until 9 in the morning. So 7:35 to be throwing away things, and for him to be there that early, that's weird.
But it's
What do
also
you
weird
think?
because he was at the party. To my understanding, he did not like attend the party fully, but he did join later. Jan didn't. So you're telling me that he went to the party, then went back to his place, and then came back to see them? Like the
Not even to
logical
see them.
chain is not even
Allegedly just to drive Madeline to school. So
how.
going back to the clip that we just showed, though, right off the bat, we know she's lying because she says we drove Madeline to school. We, meaning her and Stefan Stearns, her boyfriend. But when she initially gave the report to police, like you said, Adriana, she said she called up Stefan because she was tired and she said, come over here and drive Madeline to school. And allegedly he did. But then we have this footage of him throwing out Madeline's backpack and laptop at 7:30 a.m., which is well before anyone supposedly drove her to school. So clearly she was never even driven to school because
Yeah.
her school shit was thrown away. So
Yeah. Well, Stefan also lied because when in the first report to the police, he said that he saw her when he dropped it off to the church, looking through her backpack, getting earpods or whatever to listen to music in her walk, and then she kept going to school. So this is already a lie. We already know this is all a lie. He never dropped her off. Like, my problem is, like, where did this take place? Did this take place in the apartment? Or did this take place in the car? For me, it makes sense in the apartment, unless he kept her overnight. If she was gonna work late and she doesn't like to sleep alone, we don't know what happened here.
You see, the disturbing part for me here is that she, knowing that Stefan sexually abused her from a child, because like, when you 12 and under, you're still considered a child. When you're 13 and plus, you're a teenager. So that's the breaking point here when it comes to age. Was that something that Jan and Stefan like fucked them up? That's why her birthday was such a trigger to them, because from a child she turned to a teenager.
There's speculation that she could have been pregnant, and a lot of predators choose younger children so they don't have this risk. That's one of the speculations. Obviously, Jen is going to claim that she didn't know any of this, which I call bullshit all throughout. I don't believe you, Jen. I don't believe anything you say. You're a despicable woman. And at least horrible mom for not even noticing, if it's true that you didn't, which I don't believe. So
it's worth mentioning that they're keeping the autopsy. They do have the autopsy results, but they're keeping it classified. It will not be public information, at least not for the foreseeable future. And I don't exactly know why that is right now. I guess because it's an ongoing investigation. It's still all of the things that they're keeping hidden in this case is truly bizarre to me. I don't understand why so many things are remaining classified.
I think it's also like Florida's law that since it's a
Yeah.
minor, they're not technically supposed to like release it unless, to my understanding, the parents agree. But clearly, parents are not agreeing, and
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the reasons they may be keeping besides possibly the Florida law, which I'm not privy to, so I'm not sure.
same.
But I think they might be keeping the autopsy classified because, like you said, I think she
Yeah.
may have been pregnant, and I think that may have been the breaking point, and I think that may have been why this happened.
So the Florida state attorney, I think that's what his title was. He was very clear in saying that this autopsy revealed that is a minor that was murdered under DV, domestic violence circumstances. So domestic violence already is telling you it's either the mom, Stefan, or whomever the fuck was else living there, or even and I hate to speculate on this because if she has nothing to do with this, I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck right now, the grandmother. Because whomever lives with this child or is in a paternal relationship, in a closeness like this, is considered DV. Now, that's what I'm trying to say, guys. Did it happen in the apartment? Did Stefan, if she lied about having to call him in the morning and he slept over, where's the timeline? We have no timeline. And another thing to your question before, T, I think that the reason why they're keeping this so airtight is because of what happened with Casey Anthony. The case was so blown out of proportion, and there were so many details because people were, in this belief of the situation that it made the case even worse, and we could never have justice for Kaylee because, everything was out and about. There were troubles with jurors and all these things, and they want to have a local fair case. And for me, that's giving mom. I can't get out of my head.
It's giving mom to me too.
We only know that she was okay during her birthday party on Sunday. That's when we have the last proof of life, to my understanding. They've seen her having a party. The party ended at whatever time, and then she got home. But that's the last time frame that we have that we can justify that she was alive. From that point till the body discovery, it's all a mystery.
I guess we're never going to know until the trial starts. And I am so eager to get justice for this girl because your mother is the one person that is supposed to protect you from everything possible. And if this fucking woman put herself first and this man second, or this man first, to say it better, then her child, it is just appalling. I think that regardless if she did commit the crime of murdering her or not, she deserves to be in prison as well because you don't do this shit. This is negligence at a minimum. At a minimum, allowing this abuse to go on in your own home, at a minimum, it should be negligence and she should be arrested for this.
For over 5 years. It's not that they had a family of 20 people that, like, logically it could be harder to keep track on every single child. People still do it though, but she had one child, to my knowledge, and you're not able to keep track. And know that something is wrong with your child for over 5 years while your child is being sexually assaulted, it's
No,
logically not
dude.
making sense to me.
Because she didn't give a fuck. Let me tell you right now who I believe this woman to be. There's been many women like her, and these
Mm-hmm.
women are more disgusting than the perpetrators themselves. There are so many women who are willing to, and it has happened before,
Allow this.
murder their children because they find some man and some man's like, oh, you know what? I don't really want kids. They're like, fine, I'll kill my kids.
I know.
I'll drive them over a bridge. I'll drown them in the river. I'll do this. I'll do that. There are so many women who are so desperate for a man. If my man wants to touch my little girl, you know what? I'll look the other way. I'll pretend it's not happening. Everything's fine because me having a
Burn.
man in my life is more important than my child. These women are sick. They're sickos.
I cannot
truly are.
comprehend, like my mind is not comprehending this. And I know
No.
you stating facts. I know there's been so many cases this, but like I just like I have errors. Like I cannot understand this.
Yeah, it's how many times does it have to happen that a woman has the fucking low self-esteem and low self-love to allow this man to continue to enter in their lives and continue to trust people? I'm sorry, I'm a mother. There's no fucking way. I'm a mom, and I can tell you in this moment, there are signs, and if you fucking love your child, you would never allow this shit to happen. You are vigilant. Women are powerful. We have, well, men too, Alec. But as a mother, you have this.
I will emphasize that women are powerful. Just
thank you. But everybody's
to be
amazing. But
FFR.
the powerful love of a mother, and you have these intuitions and this instinctual connections with your child. There is no way that this mother didn't know. And that pisses me off. And the grandmother, I keep going back to the grandmother. If the grandmother was sleeping with the daughter when she was keeping her for whatever, overnight or whatever, again with the intuition, you didn't notice anything weird? Was she not ever, I'm so sorry to even say this, this is so bad, this is already triggering. Was she never bleeding? Was she never crying, suffering this? I mean, I'm sorry, this is a lot. Poor choice of case, I have to admit.
It is too triggering even to discuss and talk about this. I'm not handling it well. I'm not handling this well. It's hard for me to talk about those things, and like it's tough, and it's a tough case. And once again, like I said, even though it seems like it's very straightforward because it seems like Stefan did it, there's more to it. I feel like my gut feels there's more to it.
But don't you think that if they knew it was him, they would have already charged him with something? Or just because one of the updates that they gave, the man that was giving this update said everyone close to Madeline Soto is a suspect. That's not giving he did it unless they don't know.
Honestly,
I don't understand how they can have that on his phone. And like I'm gonna get graphic right now. I don't mean to get graphic. I don't understand how they have this on his phone and in so much detail that in the police reports they were able to describe the appearance of his penis. Okay. In great detail. And what they described, they didn't mention her name, but they described her room, her clothing, her everything is Madeline in these videos and pictures with him. How are there no charges? I don't understand. I don't understand.
I do think it takes time. I think he's actually going to trial for these charges alone. That's what I'm saying. They're not charging him with this. And they think that they saw her already dead in the car by 8, is it 8:19 or 8 in the morning? One of these 2 times.
Like after he dumped her backpack
after he
laptop.
Dumped, yeah, after he dumped the laptop. But again, did it happen in the apartment? How the fuck do you bring a dead body into the car without the mom noticing? Her mom was over there. Was she died asleep?
It's also really
did it
important
in the car. I don't know.
It's really important to mention that Stefan is the only one, to our knowledge, who's not cooperating with the investigation. Jen is. The mother is cooperating according to the like police, that she is cooperating with the case. Stefan is not.
Yeah.
So that's already showing fucking guilt by default, and they have factual guilt now. So the fact they cannot charge him,
How is he not cooperating?
he's not talking to the detectives, to my knowledge. Once again, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's not talking, he's not answering questions, he's not discussing, recalling, providing alibi, nothing.
That's debatable whether or not that's considered not cooperating, because he's a sick fuck and he deserves to die, but that is within his constitutional rights to not speak.
Well, and once again, nobody's saying that's against the law. Police just saying that he's not cooperating, but Jen is. So once again, we went to town after Jen, and I understand that some people can say she's just processing her grief differently, and I can understand that, but logically, I cannot see this 500 scenarios without Jen being involved in each of them.
Well, that's the perfect example of why you shouldn't talk, because the more that bitch talks, the more we know, the more the world knows.
But I was just gonna say, I cannot fathom living a situation like this that I hope no one ever has to go through, truly, and not being so outraged that you do give a press conference. If you're innocent, speaking only gets you in trouble when you're guilty as fuck.
Yes.
If you're innocent and you just learned that the person that you loved, that you trusted, you allowed in your home, did this to your beautiful, precious child, I see myself giving a press conference and demanding justice and doing anything I need to do, but I'm not guilty, so I can't relate.
I could debate this. I don't know if this is the episode for that, but I could absolutely debate this.
You think it wouldn't be wise? You don't think
it's never wise.
No?
Innocent or guilty, it is never wise to talk to the police. The number one thing you learn in any sort of forensic psychology, criminal justice, whatever program that you may be in, is to not talk to the police. Innocent or guilty, ask for a lawyer. Those should be the only words that ever come out of your mouth.
But if you're innocent,
it does not matter. They're not looking to help innocent people. They're looking to close a case. They are allowed to lie to you. They are allowed to manipulate you. They are allowed to do whatever it is that they need to do to get a confession out of someone. They are allowed to break you mentally.
I can
not
understand.
Talk to police.
But would you care, Adriana, like, let's say, because you're the only parent here. As a parent, I can picture myself as a parent. Like, I wouldn't give a fuck about the law. If something happened, even to my dog, I wouldn't give a fuck. I would go to town and scream on top of all the rooftops in New York City about my truth.
I'm not saying to not advocate
consequences.
If this happened to you, I'm not saying to not advocate for your child. I'm not saying to not go on TV and ask for help and tell people, if you've saw something, say something, please.
No, I hear you.
I'm not saying to not do those things at all. Absolutely, you should be doing those things. If you are ever named as a suspect, innocent or guilty, and you are brought in to the police station for interrogation,
totally,
the only words out of your mouth should be, "I want a lawyer."
I do agree with you there, because I do have a tremendous or irrational fear of being accused of a crime that I did not commit, and I have seen plenty of cases where this happens. I do agree with this. If you are accused and you want this interrogation, but if you can cooperate and you can, but I'm just talking about the fact that if you are not a suspect, right? That she's not being named a suspect, really. She could just go and be fucking outraged, make a statement, make something, but she's just hiding, quiet. I don't know. I can't.
She doesn't have it in her. She's flatlined. She doesn't have it in her because I think right now she's battling. I don't even know how to put this, because I don't want to say she's battling demons, because I very much see she's a sociopath. She looks like a sociopath to me. She acts like a sociopath. So she's not battling demons right now, because I don't believe she has a conscience enough to make her feel guilty about what happened here. I think what she's actually grieving right now is not the loss of her child or what happened to her child. I think what she's grieving is her boyfriend. She knows he's going bye-bye for a very long time.
And the possibility of losing her freedom and being caught. That's why when she was fucking shaking like that, that wasn't fear and pain and emotion, because when you are in that fear and pain and emotion of your child, possibly, you guys know me on a personal level. right?
Yeah.
There's nothing that is going to make you fucking giggle in this circumstance. Nothing is going to make you
No.
giggle.
And she does.
And then she like regroups herself. She's like, oh. Go
I think
away.
she's guilty. There's no way she's guilty one way or another. Like she's guilty. She is associated with this case. Definitely, in my opinion. You can come for me, you can prove me wrong, you can tell
I
me
don't
she's
know.
grieving differently. I hear you all, but to my understanding, there's no way, even let's separate parent-child emotion. There's no way somebody that's close to you is missing and you're fucking giggling. Like, I understand different brains work differently, but it's mind-blowing to me.
I'm gonna say this, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I can see her doing it more than Stefan. He had what he wanted. I have heard speculations that maybe she reached an age where he was not interested anymore, or the speculation of the pregnancy. But there is such a thing as the jealousy, the mother jealousy.
Yep.
So I can see her doing this, to be honest with you, and it pains me to say, and if I'm wrong, well, I'm sorry, bitch. But this is what I think.
This wouldn't be the first time that
Yeah.
a mother has gotten jealous and done something to their own child because
And blame them.
Yeah, and blame them because their boyfriend, husband, whoever was sexually attracted to that child. And instead of protecting their child, the mother gets jealous. This wouldn't be the first time. It's fucking sick. I don't understand how I can't comprehend it.
Same.
But it wouldn't be the first time. So I could see a world where the tears that Stefan had in his eyes, because the mother had none, he had some. The tears that he had in his eyes were legit because Jennifer Soto, Madeline's mom, just murdered. Allegedly, this is all my theory, speculation. His actual love, the actual person he was in love with, who was a 13-year-old child. And that's why he's the one grieving.
And she's consoling him.
Right.
Possibly telling him there is a possibility that she's like, if you fucking say something, I'm gonna tell what you did.
Why would they agree to give a fucking interview on national television if they knew both that fucking shit went down? That's
because
the
you
part.
have to go through the motions. You have to go through the motions. If you already think it's weird that he's not talking to police, how weird would it look if they weren't doing all the things that parents of missing children do, which is talk to the newspapers, give a press conference. You have to do the search party looking for the, looking for the body.
You saw what happened with Chris Watts. He was giving his interview and pretending.
But Jen is giving Chris Watts vibe. Thank you for bringing Chris Watts up.
Yeah,
because Jen is giving the same fucking vibe as
she
Chris
really
did.
is.
She is.
And that's the fucking scary part. And it's just speculation, obviously, but that's the energy and the vibe that she's giving. That.
Do you think she just took off? Do you think?
I mean, right now I don't even want to just like throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But I mean, could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now. Like that's what's in my head. Like, if they're safe right now, they're gonna come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like, if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen. And it was just a traumatic night trying to be here.
I'm gonna ask some kind of tough questions about your relationship with your kids.
Yeah, my kids are my life. I mean, those smiles light up my life. And there's like, I mean, last night, like during when they usually eat dinner, it was just like I miss them. Like, I mean, I miss telling them, hey, you got to eat that, or you're not gonna get your dessert, and just like you're not gonna get your snack after.
I've seen a lot of people compare Stefan to Chris Watts, and I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't see.
I see Jen.
The comparison there, comparing Jennifer Soto to Chris Watts.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely.
Totally agree.
His giggling interview is haunting. It's haunting.
Her giggling in that fucking interview haunts me. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, pull it together. Like, what the fuck are you doing right now? Why even try and pretend at that point? Like, just come clean and say what you did, because it's clear as day that you did something. Don't sit here and giggle in our fucking faces like we're morons.
I still cannot see her being not guilty, regardless of what it is. Not knowing the sexual assault, killing, not like, there's no way this woman is not guilty. There's just no way for me. I cannot comprehend that she is so oblivious that she just let this child being fucking molested and sexually assaulted for years, and then the child died and she had nothing to do with any of this. Cannot believe that. I just can't.
Me either. Like Adriana said, at the very least, neglect. If you don't know that this is going on
The
in
very
your
least.
home
Yeah.
for a number of years.
Enabling abuse at a minimum.
I
Anyways,
agree.
this was rough as fuck. I don't even, I didn't think we were gonna be able to get through it.
We barely did, guys. Like, yeah,
Oh,
so
by the skin of our teeth, we got through talking
Yeah.
about this.
Sorry if this was a little too rough. I think
triggering.
that, yeah, but you know what? I feel like it's worth giving our 2 cents, and I cannot wait for Madeline to get justice that she deserves from whomever the fuck was involved. At the end of the day, you don't know families, you don't know their secrets, you don't know the other family members, you don't know what goes on in that home. You really don't know those
Which
dynamics.
is why I was
weird.
never allowed to go to sleepovers, and I know my mom watches the podcast, so Mom, I'm gonna call you out right now.
Hey, Mom.
We love you.
We love you.
Love you, Mom. I used to get so pissed off at my mom when I was young because I was not allowed to go to sleepovers. And I would always tell her, "Well, you know so and so's mom. You know their mom. Like, what's the big deal?" And my
You
mom would be like,
don't.
"Yeah, I know their
Yeah.
mom, but I don't know. I don't know
You
her
don't.
uncle. I don't know her father.
Exactly.
I don't know her brother.
But
I don't know
even
any
if
of
you
these
know
people."
the mom,
Yeah.
my kids and I had to have a very serious conversation a few times through their childhood, because I don't allow them either. And I don't even like kids sleeping over. Not because anything is going to happen here, but it just takes one kid to say something
Right.
Yeah.
weird, you get in
Right.
trouble. So for me, and I told them this, I say, I'd rather you hate me now and we can discuss later.
Yep.
You're gonna have some sort of trauma. Let this be the trauma. My mom never let me have sleepovers.
Yeah.
You know,
We'll pay for the therapy. Tell
but
your
truly,
therapist.
Yeah, that's the easy
even
one.
even my closest friends and some family members, I'm sorry, I don't know you. I don't know what's in your head. I only know what you show of you.
Right.
And I think that I have been so much into true crime and psychology and all of these things that I can tell you factually that you truly don't know anybody at all. Like maybe your partner, you know?
No, that's what it comes to. That's the world we
So
live in. So, to our audience, sorry for all the triggers, for all the conversations, but yeah, this is the world we live in. So, we need to discuss this and talk about it, sadly, unfortunately.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I can't wait to read some comments. I hope some of you made it to the end and let us know what you think, because this is fucked up, and justice for Madeline because she deserves
Yes.
better.
Yes, I want to hear everyone's theories. I want to hear everyone's opinions. I want to know, do you agree with us? Do you think that Jennifer Soto was somehow, some way involved in this? And if so, how? What are your
Prove us
theories?
wrong.
Talk
Honestly,
to us.
I want you to prove me wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to, the case to be closed, and like police gonna say that Jen did nothing. I'll come here and apologize. Be like,
I
I
don't
was
think
wrong.
anyone's
I
arguing
would
with
love
us
to.
on this
Not gonna
one.
apologize.
I
I
know,
hate to
sadly.
say it.
I
I
had
don't
to
think
give
there's
it
going to be
though.
much debate on this one, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there will be conversations and other theories, because the internet solves crimes all the time. There are theories out there that you would never even think of, that someone out there thinks of, says it out loud, and all of a sudden cops, investigators are like, "Oh,
True.
okay. I want to hear your theories." So let us know.
Well, thank you guys for being here and for the triggering, complicated, tough subject. It was tough for us. I'm sure you can
Yeah, it
tell.
was.
But thank you all for being here, for participating in this conversation, and we will see you next week.
See you next week, everybody.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.